Shalom, brothers and sisters. It's your brother Yahawashi. I want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Peace, salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth, learning or teaching His gospel in truth and sincerity. Shalom. Today I want to go over how the Star of David is how they say the Star of David. It's like Salakia, how they call it the Star of David, but it's not. It's the Star of Remphan and the Star of Moloch. So when you get into it, how the Judaism, the fake Jews, they use this star. This star right here. This star. And they say that it's the Star of David, but it's not. And that's why it's never written in the Bible and it never says that it's a Star of David. It's called the Star of Remphan. And you'll see it in the Bible. When they worshipped after gods, they would carry the star of their other god, Remphan, and they took up the Star of Remphan to other names for Moloch and the Baal, who was the fire god, devil, Beelzebub. I'll bring it out. It's the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 26. He said, "But ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch in Chion, your images, and the star of your God, which ye made to yourselves." And that's what they did right there. If you get into the book of Acts, Brother Stephen explains it as well. Acts chapter 7 and verse 43. "Ye took up the tabernacle of Moloch, the star of your God, Remphan, figures which ye made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon." So they got carried away to Babylon for worshiping these false gods, Moloch and Remphan, using that star, because that's the star of their gods. It's the star of Moloch and Remphan right there, It's yeah. And then in that Amos that I brought out, they sacrificed their children unto that star, to that star god through the, and they did this to their star god. They would sacrifice children, and they worshiped that false god, and Remphan as an icon and a symbol. And you never see the Star of David in the scriptures, because it's like they're adding to the word, And that's why you bring out. Well, first I'll get that 1 Kings 11:5, about Solomon. It's 1 Kings. It's about Solomon. First, I'll bring that out. Let's explain how Solomon went through it as well with this star. It's the 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse. 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 5 through 7. "For Solomon went after the Ashtoreth and the goddesses Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites." Verse 6, "And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord, and did as did David his father, Salakia." Verse 7, "And then did Solomon build high places for Chemosh, an abomination of Moab, and in the hill before Jerusalem, and for Molech, and the Salakia, and the abomination of the children Ammon." Yeah, so like Ashtoreth, you know how I just read in there, like that's where Easter came from, and this is talking about Solomon when he was, you know, like when he was married to these women of other nations, and they manipulated his mind, and like, you know, Salakia, they manipulated him, and he got older to this is when he got older, you know, and like he followed strange gods. Solomon did evil in the eyes of the Lord, like how I was reading. And like Solomon became evil and became to worship these pagan gods of his wife's were. He followed the ways of his wife. You type in the seal of Solomon on Google, you'll see that it was that star. So as you can see, like this was this is the same seal of Solomon versus the seal of David. I mean David, you know, seal of Solomon star right there. That's the star. So you type in this to seal of, so I put David star reverse. I'm trying to see what Salakia is. Bear with me. Yeah, I'm trying to find where it was showing both sides. Damn. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll find it right here. There's Moloch right there, and right there, this is what I was looking for. That's both of them. Like not both is I mean like this is the other hexagon that they worship as well, a star, the obverse and the reverse of it, and that's Moloch, their god. That's why Saturn is Moloch in Remphan, because that's what, if you look it up in the Blue Letter Bible, it says that as well. It says they're worshiping that too, the Saturn, you know, because they're worshiping that god, and that's what that god's known for. You know, the bull represents Remphan and Moloch, and Remphan is Saturn, and Saturn is Satan. Salaki, I wasn't saying it on point, but there it is right there. Child sacrifices were offered to both Moloch and Saturn, and then, you know, and this is the pentagram of the stars, 5 points, yeah, and a 6-point star. The heading closes 6-point star, yeah, surrounded by the letters, the name Remphan, and genus of Saturn. So that's what it's about right there. I'm gonna go back to that seal of Solomon. It's the seal of Solomon star, and it looks, because it's the same. And that's the star that Solomon used to control demons and spirits. And it's after Solomon's marriage to the Pharaoh's daughter in 922 BC, Solomon gave himself up to witchcraft and idolatry and built altars to Moloch and Ashtoreth. You know, and then that's why. Yeah. Acts 7:43. And Stephen exposed him as well. Acts chapter 7, verse 43. He said, yeah, ye took up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Remphan, figures, and ye made to worship them, and I would carry you away from Babylon. I know I said it already. We just had to go over it again. Like carry the people. We got carried away to Babylon for doing this. It's like that's why it's not a joke. And then that Amos 5:26 and Moloch, that's what Solomon started worshiping. The Moloch, and like. You don't want to follow after these gods, these false gods. Nothing's new under the sun. They're doing it today with that Judaism flag. So I pray this was edifying. Stay away from the Star of David. We know that that's the Moloch and the Remphan star. And we don't want to do the ways of the heathen. And I want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad across the world, learning and teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity.